Hey there, Sabine here. Hope you are having a great day. So, we are in the final hours, the final stretch of 2025. And for many of us, 2025 has been a whirlwind of the year with amazing things that we've experienced and some not so great things. And I think that that's the case every year, and we all know that. But I think some years hit a lot harder than others. And at least for me, 2025 has definitely been a growth year and a transformational year, if I can call it that. And I say that because the things, the lessons, the opportunities, the changes, the shifts, all of the things that came forward this year did just that. They changed me. They changed how I perceive life, how I perceive others, how I perceive myself, even how I perceive my experiences. And so as I'm scrolling through mostly IG this last week on my break, I've noticed a lot of people looking back at the year as somewhat of a disastrous year or somewhat of a year of a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures, a lot of opportunities that felt and seemed like they were out of their control, so to speak. And I don't want to take anything away from that, but I also think that this is the time of year that we, again, based on our perception and based on the meaning that we give things, we get to decide what was 2025 for us. I think we don't realize how powerful our perception is, or even how much control that we have over our perception. And if you choose to look at the year, regardless of what happened, again, I'm not taking away anything that anyone experienced. And at the same time, I know that whenever we experience seasons of, we'll call it darkness, or seasons of things being outside of our control, there are things that we learn about ourselves that unfortunately, for whatever reason, we may have not been able to learn those things about ourselves in those times where things were great and plentiful. So many of us, we doubled down on our resilience muscles this year. We learned how to navigate change and ambiguity. We learned what our values really were through seeing and witnessing injustice taking place all around us, or through seeing individuals who don't have a voice, that their power, their voice, their rights being taken away. And so I'm not saying that what we experienced this year, what anyone has experienced this year, was not that bad. But what I'm also asking you or inviting you to look at and examine as you're assessing 2025 and you're assessing what the year brought or didn't bring to you, look at who you became. Look at where you gained strength. Look at where you clarified what's important to you, who's important to you, because those things matter just as much as the negative experiences that we had. So as we end this year of 2025, do a full assessment of the year, not just the negative things that our mind wants to cling to, but look at the positive, look at the great things, look at who you've become, look at how you've changed, look at how your environment has shifted as a result of what you've experienced. And to the extent that you can, move into 2026 knowing how powerful you were this year, knowing how strong you became this year, knowing how life moved and challenged you and forced you into things, into spaces, into experiences that you didn't ask for, nor that did you want. But yet here you are. Not only did you endure, but you thrived through the experience. Not only were you forced to change, but you transformed into an even more powerful being. Not only did you learn through your experiences what you don't want, but you gained even more clarity, even more conviction, even more truth, and even more power around what it is that you do want. And now you have the tools to create it in the next year. So that's what I have for you today. Have a happy and safe New Year's Eve for those of you who are celebrating, and I will be back tomorrow. Take care.